Cool. So the first text I got on Christmas morning wasn't Merry Christmas, wasn't Happy Holidays. It was Letterkenny prostate exam. So
Hmm.
how was it, Nathan? Because that really is, and I was talking to Jacob, and that was one of the things he was really looking forward to directing. Like, how was it doing that? Like, how was it? Because that's just like one of the highlights this season.
Yeah, the whole episode was an interesting one to film. Super, super fun, and like a lot of laughs. I was just explaining like so two things. Number one, when Jared and I are out in front of the produce stand talking about why I ran out of the doctor's office, like that killed me, and that made me just like laugh fucking to bits. And Jared laughed a whole bunch too. It was so great. And then the other one is when we're all in the doctor's office and we're all taking our pants down, and you can just see our faces. And you're supposed to like getting a huge finger in the bum, and it's just like, fuck, man, that took forever. Also, Jacob has this like such a good director. He has these sneaky little tricks to make everything like just that much more real for you. So he's just like, okay, so he's like I got my face there, and he's just like, okay, here. So when I say like finger, that's when finger's in the bum, and he just waited for so long and so long, so you don't know it's coming, and then all of a sudden you got this like goofy ass face on your face. Anyways, it's so much fun. Prostate was my favorite episode, 100%.
And, that was that. It's just kind of like a common. I don't want to say a concern, but it is a common kind of like what's going to happen like to those first time prostate examiners. But
Oh
the
yeah, we don't know what's
um Michelle with Katie, we had seen her go like in her own words like scorched earth with like Letterkenny. Like she in a lot of ways like the last couple seasons we had seen Katie at her most vulnerable, like coming off her relationship with Dirks and like just kind of like having because she's normally a very like confident character and that kind of shook her to her as much as it can. Like
yeah.
how is it kind of like bringing that nuance and carrying that into season 10 while still having a lot of fun?
Yeah, I mean, I like you said it perfectly. Like as much as we could see of her being vulnerable, she really does keep a lot to herself, and she doesn't like to expose her emotions very often. I think it was nice to see Katie fall in love and be kind of just sort of show a little bit of vulnerability and this kind of sweet side to her that we hadn't really seen before. We'd never really seen her care about much. So that was nice. And then to see her get her heart broken, even though again she remained rather composed, like she was genuinely really hurt. And I think the scorched earth thing, it's like the classic, you go through a breakup, you get your heart broken, you want to get right back out there. And then in this season, we sort of see her just take pause and focus on her friendships and being with the Hicks and hanging with Rosie and kind of just like detaching from all of that stuff, which I think is a really normal thing that a lot of people go through. So yeah, it's fun. It's fun to see Katie kind of doing this and seeing a little bit more to her than just being this like incredibly tough chick in short shorts. Yeah.
Sure. Who can still deliver quite the kick.
She sure can. Yeah.
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 So, Nathan, how hard is it to like, is the hardest thing that you had to film just any season? Is it any scene involving the Dick family?
Yeah, that's super difficult. Because fucking Jonathan Torrens
Yeah.
is he has this way about him that even when he's just looking at you and he's not even saying a line or anything like that, he just makes you laugh. He's just got this funny little twitch about him. His whole being, it seems like he's been put on our set just to fuck with everybody, and he does such a good job of it because he's so funny. And so when he's delivering lines and stuff like that, obviously they're disgusting and they make me squirm anyway, and they make Daryl squirm for sure. But he's very difficult to work with in the best way possible because he's so much fun. He's so much fun to work with because it seems like he's trying to fuck with you all the time, and he's not. He's doing his job, and he's right in there, and he's fucking professional and everything like that. But man, he's so much fun to work with, and so very difficult. I have to pinch my thigh all the time, so I always have my hand in my pocket during scenes with Torrens because he makes me laugh too much. So I pinch my thigh. I always come out of it like black and blue on my thigh because I need to pinch myself so I don't laugh as much. So then I'm not wasting everybody's time. But he's great, and the stuff with the Dicks is it's fucking uncomfortable and super super fun, and they're really fun to work with. And Sarah Wayne Callies is fun to work with, and Jonathan's fun to work with, and obviously K-Trev and Jared are fun to work with and stuff. And so the whole mix of it just turns into a really big fun sort of laugh fest. And we have a really good time doing it. And those ones are super, super fun. So anything, look, he says dick meat all the time. It's just
Oh yeah,
the whole time. So it's just like any one of those type of lines. I'm just like get a bit squirmy and stuff. It's great though. Super fun to work with. Yeah.
Yeah, I never knew that there was so many like double entendre you could like yield from that, and yet it's just like it's bountiful. The harvest, the dick jokes are bountiful.
It's just a horrific harvest, isn't it? It's just
a cornucopia.
Yeah.
So Michelle, if both Jacob and Nathan were looking forward to the prostate exam the most, like, which is just weird to say out loud, but if that's what they were looking forward to the most, what scene, looking over the scripts and stuff for season 10, were you the most like, excited to get to film?
I mean, it's funny because like the prostate exam episode is one of my favorite, if not my favorite episode of the new season for sure. So even if I'm not in those scenes, I still like, and the way that Tanis kind of schools them on a pap, just like for me as a woman, I was like, yes, like this is perfect. And I'm so glad they did this because it's like all these boys crying about a little finger, like hello. So I was very happy to see that, and when I got to watch the episode I was like, it's perfectly done, made me laugh a lot. I like any time that I get to interact with the skids, just for some reason, even if they're just like little short and sweet at the convenience store and I'm like pretending that I'm gonna like fight Tyler and Evan and then they scream, and like I think that dynamic is really fun to play with, and Katie and Roald kind of having this like weird beef that's like very palpable is fun to play with too. So yeah, just like lots of little moments. It was also really fun to drive the truck so much. Like I drove the truck so much last summer with all these boys in the back, and that was really fun. So yeah, I look forward to little moments, little outfits, the whole thing. It's fun.
Sure. I also like that this season everybody gets to say the you were taking your dogs out the other day. Like it isn't just Jared saying it this season. Like everybody gets their own moment to kind of like set up the episode.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's the ensemble is becoming kind of like a little bigger now. Nathan, in talking about love, like with Dirks, with Katie and everything, like where do you think like Daryl's stance with Anik is? Like he kind of they broke it off because he couldn't handle her Instagram. Like, do you think he has grown and he is able to like find Quebecois love now? Is he ready for it?
I think that he would tell you that he definitely is ready for it. He'd say there's no question about it. He is ready to jump back in, like both feet in the pool, dive headfirst into the deep end type of deal. But I think, all of his friends are telling him, she cheats on you, whatever, like that's it. She steps out and that's that. And then Anik flashes one little smile at Daryl and his whole world collapses, right? So it's just like, yeah, of course he wants that because he's a guy that he definitely wants love. I mean, he wants to find love, and I think it's pretty clear that he wants to find like Quebecois love. And he's just not going to find it. He's getting fucking played left, right, and center by Anik, because he's essentially a doormat that is there to be walked on every time she wants to come back and again flash him a little bit of a smile. So in the end, do I hope that they get together? Sure, that would be very sweet, but I gotta say, I don't see it happening. I see it possibly happening as like a string him along a little bit further, like a little bit of ice fishing, like come on a little bit, and then fucking, break his heart again. Because I feel like that's sort of what happens to Daryl, especially with Anik. She's obviously Kim's a great looking lady, and I think out of Daryl's league, and he just he kind of lucked out with that, and I think definitely he's getting strung along for God knows how much longer. Maybe his entire life he'll get strung along by her.
Sure. Now I know you can get him the yeah. I know you guys can't get into spoilers, but with like season 11, like where do you want to see your characters go next? Like what can you kind of tease up?
I mean, I don't know. It's like, what can we say? Yeah. I mean, with Katie, it's like more of the same. Like she's just becoming more and more herself every day. And what I hope to see for Katie is not that like every person has to have a relationship and that defines them, because that's just not the truth and doesn't have to be that way at all. But I just hope that Katie kind of finds whatever it is that she's looking for. I think she's sort of clinging on to this like youthful like town of like, and we're all friends and my brother's friends in the produce stand, and maybe there will be a time when Katie decides that she kind of needs to go find her own life and whatever that looks like for her. But in the meantime, I think she's just really happy in her world, and it's kind of refreshing to see somebody just be content as well. So I don't know, it'll be interesting. I'm excited to see where they take her.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's hard to get into anything about the next season because it's like, you know, there's so many little bits that could give away so much stuff, and so I don't want to do that or anything. Where I would like to see Daryl go is I'd love to see him find some love. I think that'd be fantastic. I absolutely love that. But at the same time as well, I mean, does it make a more interesting story to have him not find love and just be kind of stuck with his friends as his like, I don't know, as his everything encompassing entire world? Who knows? I'm not really sure. But yeah, without giving away spoilers, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a sweet ride. It'll be interesting, you know, but that's kind of it. Otherwise, get in very much trouble if we drop any spoilers right now. And also, yeah, I'd love to see Daryl find love. I'd obviously love that. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's all the time I got. You know, season 10 is a lot of fun. It was my favorite Christmas present this year. And guys, thanks for taking the time again on a Friday morning. Like, you know, I've been watching you guys, and it's been a good journey. It's been a great journey.
Man. Anytime, Sam. Absolutely. Thanks for your time.
Cool.
Thank you. So it was so nice to see you.